man. Thank goodness. uNrekt.
Hey ho, welcome to the HEX Late Show. It's 43 OG. It's supposed to be uNrekt here in front of you, but his, hang on a second, there he is.
Ahoy there, what's going on out there in crypto land? It's the uNrekt Pirate, that's right, and it's the HEX Late Show streaming at you from the one and only Discourse Syndicate Network, and here we are for another episode, and I hope you enjoy the stream.
What's going on, brother?
Oh, mate, everything. Millions and millions. How about you, man? What's going on in Hexland? What's going on in Hexland? You tell me. I have no idea.
We are currently, what is currently going on in HEX is we have what I believe is a magnificent buying opportunity.
Yes. In fact, I know someone who bought some that dip. And
it's such a great buying opportunity, mate. It's such a great buying opportunity that my daughter is crying. She's crying that she can't buy more HEX right now.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to mute myself while I bring the other guys up and you guys have a chat.
It is. It's like the.
Hey, how you going, guys?
Hey,
everyone.
Jexxa?
Yeah, good, buddy.
Hey.
What's going on?
All right.
Welcome. It's good to see everyone. Hopefully, with no technical issues, we can have the conversation tonight. We're going to be talking about the number one crypto, and of course, it's look. Hang on. I mean, look. We can drill right into HEX, the game theory, the 100% uptime, the triple audit security. Just it's mint. It's mint. And also we can expand and we can look at the broader crypto market and the macroeconomical. Louis, you've been smashing the lights out, son. Who are you talking to this morning?
Well, I was doing a Hedron live stream, actually, the first ever Hedron live stream. And it was really fun. We went through the audit and all of the issues that the auditors brought up and had a great chat with Alex and got into a little bit more of the higher level gameplay about Hedron. And it was really fun.
So uNrekt is showing us exactly what not to do with OPSEC. Wearing reflective sunglasses so we can see what's on his screen there. Good stuff there, uNrekt. I hope you're not looking at titties.
I'm looking at you guys. This is like a dedicated streaming computer.
Just had all these stakes up.
Hey, but uNrekt is right though. We need to talk. We need to talk. We need to talk a little bit about HEX because there's a lot of stuff going on in and around the HEX ecosystem, the Pulse ecosystem. There's other projects happening. There's a lot of people talking about a lot of stuff. I just want to reaffirm that to me, the number one, and as Bluey would put it, the apex predator is HEX. There, in my opinion, there's no better store of value out there. It's where you can think long term, up to 15 years, and you can lock something away and exchange your time for. Up until this point, it's been amazing value, hasn't it? You've exchanged your time for amazing value. I don't think that that's going to stop. I think that's going to keep going. And we are in a dip at the moment. And there's people trying to explain, what's going on. Why is a dip happen? Hey, look, Doesn't matter why it's happening. What matters is you've got an opportunity to buy HEX on discount. You've got an opportunity to buy HEX and buy T-shares on discount. And not only can you buy T-shares on discount, you can buy T-shares on discount before the Pulse fork. And what does that mean? That means that when the Pulse fork happens, which is going to be in the next few weeks, months, we don't know exactly when, it's going to happen in the not too distant future, you're going to get a copy of all your HEX and all your stakes on the Pulse chain. So you can have your Ethereum, HEX and stakes, and you're going to have your Pulse, HEX and stakes. You're going to basically get a double. So I think there's a great opportunity for those who feel that they haven't got the amount of HEX or T-shares that they would like. And look, there's some other stuff going on at the moment. So as far, I mean, I know we've got a couple of guys here tonight who love to talk about certain projects. So they're going to get an opportunity to do that as well tonight. But before we get to those projects, which are, they are in the discussion at the moment, let's be honest, because the one's having a sacrifice, the other one's launching in a couple of days. Before we get to that, let's talk about the biggest news at the moment, which is we're in the final days of the Pulsex sacrifice. So does anyone out of you guys have the screen? Well,
there you go, Matt.
Well,
yeah, you can bring that up if you like.
Where are we? There we go.
Sacrifice. So what do you
Okay, so just to explain what the Pulsex sacrifice is. So we were talking about this new chain, which is PulseChain, which is coming out soon. On this chain, there's going to be an automated market maker, which is like Uniswap, and it's going to be called Pulsex. And you could sacrifice to get governance tokens. Now, what does that mean? That means you're going to have voting rights in that ecosystem, in that automated market maker ecosystem. And you're also, that token is going to be deflationary. So there's not going to be any more of those tokens. And it's an opportunity, but we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in future, but it's an opportunity. It's a Richard Heart project. And from what we've seen of Richard Hart's previous project, HEX, it's done amazingly well. So a lot of us feel like Pulsex has the potential to do amazingly well too. We don't know the future though. It's just, it's one of those things. It's speculation, but we think the guy knows what he's doing. So what have we got on our screen here, Jexxa?
So this is just the, excuse me, this is the leaderboard for Pulsex. So it shows all the wallets that sent funds or sacrificed funds into the sacrifice address over the past volume ramp period. So from, I think it was yesterday it ticked over, and this leaderboard is now pretty much locked in. Well, it is locked in. So even if someone came in with a lot more funds now, they wouldn't change any of the positions on this leaderboard. So the time to participate in this for the volume bonus it's done. So what you're seeing here is the locked-in position for the volume multiplier. That doesn't mean people still can't participate in the sacrifice, but they're just doing it at a flat rate now.
Yeah. So the bonding curve, are we at a 10x bonding curve yet from the beginning?
I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit out of touch, mate. I haven't done all the numbers on all of that sort of stuff, which is unusual for me. Usually I'm right across all of that. Been a little bit distracted.
I think, and that's very understandable, Jackson. You've had a lot on your plate in the last few days. But I think that my understanding was that at the end of it, it was going to be like basically a 10x. The bonding curve would have been a 10x. That doesn't mean you get 10x more. It means sort of you get 10x less. But you would get the 1.75 multiplier,
correct,
right? Which is a smack bang in the middle of a 1x multiplier and a 2.5x multiplier. So it's halfway. It's a multiplier that's halfway between the best and basically no multiplier. So if you apply that to a 10x, it would be like it's only a 5.75x, right? Off, so it's not too bad. It's not like terrible. So if you were going in with like a small amount, it's not terrible, but it's one of those things you have to weigh up whether that's the right thing for you to do or not. Maybe you just want to be in the set of people that are sacrificed for Pulsex. Some people are doing that. They just want to be in the set.
Mm-hmm. So do we know whether this is now locked? Because with Pulse, people are still throwing money into the sacrifice address, and the rate that they're getting it at is woeful. Yeah. But they're still doing it. Do we think this is after this final period, the flat period's finished? Do we think that that's going to be enacted again, where people can still contribute to the sacrifice address and although they get it at a worse rate, they can still participate?
Well, how can they not? They can't stop people from sending stuff in, can they?
But you could make the decision and say, okay, no more credits after this day.
You're better off. I mean, why would you do that anyway, though?
Oh, no,
I mean, yeah. It's sort of like you leave yourself almost in an actionable position. Not that anything could be done, but you're better off just giving them what the rate was. It's been very openly advertised that the bonding curve goes up by 5% per day. You're better off just giving them whatever they're entitled to, and rather than not giving them anything, right? I mean, it's not really going to make that much difference to the overall supply, I wouldn't have thought, at that point anyway. So yeah, what do you guys reckon? Has it been a successful sacrifice for Pulsex? I mean,
yeah, I'd say so.
Yep,
$1 billion chucked into a pot.
$1 billion worth of crypto on and that's
lazy billion. Wow,
a lazy Billy. Lazy Billy.
And how much was PulseChain? How much is PulseChain?
That was
700,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this was $1 billion. Let's clarify for the audience. This is $1 billion sacrifice for freedom of movement and assembly. Now that's very, very important given the current state of affairs in the world. We look to our Commonwealth neighbours over there, up there in Canada, who are trying to exercise their freedom of movement and freedom of assembly, and getting trounced by the government of Canada. I hate to get political, but
absolutely relevant. Absolutely relevant. Day 43.
So this is freedom of movement. So what we had in the Pulse. What we had in the Pulse sacrifice was people were sacrificing for freedom of speech, right? Freedom of speech.
Blockchain is freedom of speech.
Yeah, that's it. That's what blockchain is. So you can't really censor it, can you?
No, you cannot.
Well, you shouldn't be able to censor a good blockchain. If it's truly a blockchain, you can't censor it, right?
Censorship resistance.
And that was the Pulse. That was the Pulse sacrifice. But the Pulsex sacrifice was freedom of movement and freedom of assembly. So I find that's a really important thing that people in crypto tend to gravitate towards. We like the idea of freedom, and I'm not sure if any of you guys watched the podcast with Joe Rogan. The most recent one. Did you guys listen to that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, how do you say that guy's name? Is it Majid or something? Is that
Majid? Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we've been thinking and talking about that for a while. I think we've mentioned it on stream here. We've definitely mentioned it in our backroom chats and Telegram chats. I think anyone in crypto is pretty aware of what's going on. Maybe we should put a bit of context around all of this. To quickly summarize the general gist of that interview was central bank digital currencies being introduced and talking about the level of control that they will give a government once they are introduced, and heading down the lines of social scoring and the tools and technologies being in place so that social scoring can be enforced. So this particular guy has, as he said, brought all the receipts to show there's there's a bit of a thread playing out, and if you start to join all the dots together, you can see this has been playing out for some time. I think it's pretty evident in terms of some of the pushback we've been getting on the crypto side of things that they're really starting to perceive decentralized currencies as a bit of a sovereign risk now. And
I think deep down, us guys in crypto, we've probably sensed this. We've sensed this, even though we may not have wanted to truly believe, it's this pervasive what's going on. But I think we've sensed it. It's like there's too many things that didn't really add up in my mind. When it came to,
I'd go as far as to say as they added up perfectly when you look at everything that's happened.
No, but just the want, it was almost like non sequiturs, like the contact tracing. They just persist. I mean, we've still got barcodes everywhere here. No one uses them. It's like but they're persisting with the idea of it because they want to do that. I think they truly want to be able to track us in every place that we go. They want to be able to do that, and they want us to do it voluntarily. And I think that freedom of movement and freedom of assembly is an absolutely fantastic cause to get behind. And the Hexagon community and the Pulse community have absolutely gotten behind that and thrown in $1 billion worth of crypto in support of this, freedom of movement and freedom of assembly. It's a great thing that I think Richard Hart has put together here, and I'm very thankful.
Yeah. So someone's just Big Boy Games has chucked a comment in the chat. I'll just scroll down and grab it. I'll read it out because uNrekt's probably a bit distracted there.
Hang on, I can put it. I'll put it up. Which one is it?
Don't be silly. No one's sacked for liberty. We're all in it for the free coins.
So you can speak for yourself, brother. I'm in it for both. Yeah. I'm in it for both.
I don't think the two are mutually exclusive.
I'm in it for the glory. I'm in it for the.
I mean, I've always been this. As soon as I read about Bitcoin in 2015, I realized the potential to usurp government's power.
I think we're just lucky that this movement comes along with mad gains as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like save the world and get rich doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, and look, I just want to be clear. I'm not anti-government in any way. I think we need government. What we need is good government, right? Good government, ones that aren't trying to just grab all the power that they can get and use it against their own people.
Can you give an example of when there has been good government?
Yeah, there's plenty of examples of it, man.
You're floating with danger there, Bluey.
You put me on the spot, man.
It's a bit like that, though, isn't it? I'm sure somewhere, sometime, somewhere, there was a government. There was someone who did something good.
I think ultimately, people get into politics. I think at least some of them are in there to do good, right? They're in there to do good. They're in there to make.
Yeah, but intentions. I mean, intentions are different from effect. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was what the Majid. That's one of the things that he mentioned in that podcast. Like, he's not saying that people don't have good intentions, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point, and that's it's death by 1,000 cuts, isn't it? It's you slowly you give into one after another, little rules that they just impose on you, and you just accept them, little rules, and then by the end, it's like all these things amount to you having some things that some basic things, some basic rights that you thought were just basic human rights that, oh, right, okay, well, we can't even leave our homes for more than an hour a day. Okay, I can't go more than 5Ks from my home. Like I never quite understood, these things. I never quite understood how that was, something that was going to lead to some, positive outcomes.
I mean, that podcast was interesting because he compared it to the printing press. It's like when the printing press came along, all of a sudden there was this decentralization of information, and people, and they didn't like that, and so they had to put all these controls. And now we're getting the decentralization of money and information, and much faster decentralization of information. So the people in power have to bring it under control again in some way. And so this is we're seeing the last thrashings of that class who are trying to keep things under the lid, keep things under their control still. But it's a losing battle for them because we have crypto. And
they can drag it out.
It's
mate,
the leap in the dam.
They can drag it out for 30 years.
No
mate.
doubt. Oh, no doubt. It's look, it's going to be a process. Absolutely.
It could be our lifetime. It could be our lifetime.
Yeah, but in the end, humanity's going to win. That's the good.
You hope so.
That's the good news.
You hope so. You hope so. Yeah, we hope so for sure. Tangent. What is going on, brother? I'm telling you, Tangent. You need to stop posting these like ladies in scantily clad ladies on my Twitter feed while I'm like, I look at it and my wife looks over my shoulder and she's like, "What are you looking at?" I'm like, I can't. I'm just like, I can't stop looking. Bro,
you can blame me, man. You can blame me.
I'm blaming you.
Tangent. It's funny that you guys mentioned 30 years because I heard someone else saying something about that, giving the example of the printing press. They said it was about 30 years after that it was terrible that they were trying to regain control through like tyrannical methods for about 30 years. And I was like, I hope we don't have to do that again now.
I think things move at a faster rate of knots these days.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Maybe we can get an accelerated version. We can get the crypto. We can get the crypto 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. 3 years.
It's like 3 weeks.
Exactly.
It's like 6 months.
Accelerated learning, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is.
But hey, let's be honest about
uNrekt, your volume's really low, man.
Low. Check
like,
1, 2.
Let's be honest. Justin Trudeau, though. Justin Trudeau. I just want to talk about Justin Trudeau for a second, hey? I can see why that guy's in power. He's a beautiful man, isn't he? I'm getting some feedback here. I'm getting some feedback from someone.
uNrekt's trying to talk, but his volume's so low you don't realize that he's trying to talk.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, hang on.
Like
Go.
There's this low-level mumble in the background.
I'm going to give you.
That's a lot better.
It's better if I don't say anything, because otherwise, yeah. No, it's all good. Hey, can you hear me now? Okay. Over there in the west. I'm on the east coast. You're on the west coast. And here we are having this wonderful conversation about crypto and how it's revolutionizing the world and how it's 43. Give us the crack, mate. What do you call that? AGC or something? Mineral water?
So
blood orange?
There's no alcohol in that, yeah?
No alcohol.
Give it.
Wait, I had...
I'll have a G&T. I'll have a G&T while you're doing that.
Wait, I had a drink on the weekend. Someone had brought a mixer that it was like either soda water or tonic, but the flavor was basil and something else, and like basil and lemon, I think it was. And I was like, what the actual shit? It tasted okay, but my taste buds at the time were probably
you were drunk, and so you didn't really care.
Super active.
You really
so I did a stream before this one to try and get my subscribers to fill me in on what's been going on so that I would come into this stream educated with knowledge, knowing what's been happening in HEX, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
That's why we got Bluey and Jexxa in. That's why we got Bluey and Jexxa. Hey.
I'm out of touch this week, mate. There's that much going on. It's like drinking out of a fire hose at the moment.
Drinking out of a fire hose.
Oh, there's plenty of FUD to go around, isn't there?
There's a lot. Yeah, well, there's a lot going on in the community. So the community's obviously gotten a lot bigger, and that brings a lot of diversity. And you got people building things, and other people are hardcore one way, and it's. I made one tweet about someone said, I hope Pulse launches soon. I said, yeah, damn, me too. We're eating ourselves from the inside out. And then and then someone came back, and it was a pretty flippant remark. But when you actually think about it, the community does pretty well considering how big it is, how diverse it is, where everyone's located, differing points of view and opinions.
How public it is.
How public it is. Yeah. Everyone likes to be heard, so yeah.
And we've all got purple diarrhea.
That's it. It comes with a lot of noise.
Speaking of that, I've got a little clip here. I want to see if I can play it. I think it's the right one. Now,
modularity in software has value. Having audits has value. Having bug bounties has value. Having a track history of not having inflation bugs has value. Having a more distributed miner ecosystem has value. Having a higher throughput has value. Having lower fees have value. And having distributed finance where your product plugs in with everyone else's product. You guys think it's easy to build ERC20 smart contracts? Build a contract that wraps HEX and allows people to trade stake tax like a treasury, because it doesn't exist yet. But you could build it because it's in a DeFi protocol and you stay in the protocol.
Whoa.
I knew
Bloobum.
I knew Bloobum would like that one. Now, for anyone, for a bit of context, that clip is from a video that Richard Hart did with some lawyers and Tone Bays just before the launch of HEX. And he was talking about wrapped stakes and how you could trade them as like treasury bonds. But he was talking about that back then before anyone had built anything. And he was encouraging, I guess to me, that sounded like he was open and encouraging of that sort of thing. What do you guys reckon?
I think we've been through a few cycles with it, haven't we? We went from sounds good to, oh, no, that could be negative to sounds good to, and it just keeps evolving. And we've had a couple of attempts at it, but no one's really done it well. And yeah, so Hedron may be the guys.
Well, Hedron's version of it is the most flexible that I've seen, because you can make, like, you encapsulate a stake by itself. You can hold it, you can put it in any wallet you like. You can turn it into an NFT and send it. Like, can you?
I reckon that's the evolution that's happened, is the NFT thing.
Yeah. It just makes it. It just makes it. Do you know what? The biggest thing I see about the NFT thing is that the NFT, like the NFT, just gets a lot of people's ears to prick up. You know.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big deal. Like from a marketing perspective,
a trigger point, or
no, it just gets like, as a lot of people in the market like. Love NFTs, so it's almost like a marketing thing for those people. Like, it could potentially be marketed in that way as, oh, this isn't an NFT, but it's actually a financial product. Rather than being some JPEG that someone can copy. You can't copy this. Or you can copy it, I guess. But do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the same. You can't just take a screenshot of your HSI. Of a Hedron stake and then have it. It's different. This is something that you've got that Hedron stake. So I'm very open to this way of perhaps onboarding new people. I think that this could be a way that we could potentially onboard if it's done the right way.
You can also put a JPEG on it, on the Hedron stake, on a HEX stake.
I'm gonna put a nice picture of your face, Bluey, on the Hedron stake, mate.
That's going to sell for a premium.
By the way, that interview was epic. That particular. So if you haven't seen that particular one where Richard it was against Tone Bays and the lawyers, it was a really, really, really good one.
Back in, if you at the time, that was quite fuddy, and everyone was bashing him. I think to go back and look at that now in context of what's actually played out, you can look at it through a different lens and see that Richard was pretty confident at that point in time against a massive headwind of FUD.
Yeah,
I do have another clip from that interview, so let me just bring that up. If I can make it start.
What were you going to ask me, OG43?
Hang on, mate. Just 1 second.
So, I know more about HEX than you do. You know more about
that. And that's what I want to ask about, right? We've been going down back and forth about this, how he says...
This is important stuff, right? Everyone that's listening to this might want to start their own cryptocurrency. And I'm the guy out there breaking my balls, finding ways to do things that haven't been done before, and pushing the limit to get freedom back to the humans. And pushing the limit to get responsibility back to the humans.
So that clip is interesting to me because there's a lot of people out there in our community who are like, HEX can only be HEX, and I'm like, for me, I love HEX. HEX is my number one. I will shill HEX till I fucking die. I love HEX, right? I love it. But, you can't have one tree in the forest. You need an ecosystem, okay? So if people can come up with good shit, right? And what's beautiful about like HEX, this is what's beautiful about HEX. You have basically, in my opinion, got the best, most well-designed cryptocurrency that's ever existed. The most well-designed. And it is, that's how, if you're going to build one, if you're going to go build a crypto or you've got an idea, you should be trying to hold it to that standard. All the things that make HEX good, that's what you should be trying to do with your crypto as well, in my opinion. That's the standard. And I don't think from that, I gather that, Richard Hart is not against people building stuff. Hey, he's for it. He might not go and shill it. Yeah. He's going to talk about his own projects. Yeah. But he's not going to be against people building good stuff. The question is it good stuff that's being built? That's the question that needs to be asked. And, I just thought that was a very topical thing to play tonight.
Yep. I think everyone, so take a look at Tone Vaser's opinion and where he's coming from. Love him or hate him, where him and those other guys on the panel are coming from. Bitcoin Max, he's been involved in Bitcoin for, at that point, what's that, 10 years, 9-10 years at that point in time. See it as the best asset. So for them, they see it as the best asset. And they see Richard come along with something different that's a bit disruptive, and they're trying to protect their bags or protect other people from getting hurt in their mind. But things evolve and better things can come along and exist and be part of the ecosystem. They're not trying to take over, but they can be part of the ecosystem. I think time's proven that he was time. We haven't seen enough time pass to say better than Bitcoin, but it's definitely given it a good nudge.
It's beaten Bitcoin. It's beaten Bitcoin in price appreciation.
Yeah, what I'm saying in terms of
maybe to talk about performance, incredible performance.
The time, incredible. The longevity, I guess, is what I'm looking at. We can't.
Oh, obviously. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing's for sure. One thing's for sure, though. When Bitcoin came out, they didn't have people adamant that it was going to be around for the next 15 years. You do have that with HEX, right? So you've already got a whole crew of people who are committed. They've got 5 stakes, and they're committed to a 15-year minimum. 15 years. So, can I just bring up this little bit of a fuddy comment here from Ben. HEX can't claim to be the shining city on the hill. With that, I think he means shit performance. Chart looks absolutely wrecked, broken the big 2-year support line, not in a good position for the shift debate like this. You have to zoom out, buddy. You're just like you're just like looking at this tiny little it's wrecked. So dude, zoom out and have a look at the chart. It looks amazing. The chart still looks amazing even after a 85, whatever dip we're in, an 80% dip at the moment. It still looks amazing. It just means it's a buying opportunity that you haven't recognized, my friend.
So we're 65%.
That's true.
65% down.
55%
from
what the chart. Sorry. I'm looking.
56.
The performance is still incredible.
My chart wasn't zoomed out enough.
Yeah.
It's the highest
Zoom out,
appreciating
Ben.
asset
Zoom
class.
out, buddy.
Cryptocurrencies are the highest appreciating asset class in the history of mankind, and HEX has basically.
I will admit, if we
you know,
close, because we closed this most recent week under that long-term trend line, and so if we close another, like, because sometimes you can break a trend line and just temporarily and get back above it, but if we're still under this trend line in another week from now, then I'm going to be a little bit concerned.
I won't be. I won't be.
I'm not concerned at all.
No. Have you guys looked? Can we have a look at this chart, please?
I'll be like, get to the chopper.
So much to be bullish about.
Hang on. Can we just look?
We're 70% down at the moment.
So I would like to see a HEX ETH chart. If one of you guys is able to bring that up, that would be fantastic. The HEX ETH chart.
So this is
what do we talk about?
We're also going through a similar event like we did with Big Payday as well. So Big Payday looked atrocious, sold off a bunch. I think it was like 82% dip, and everyone was calling for the death of HEX. But what they didn't realize is that everyone minimum got an extra 30% more for being staked for just one day. If you're out longer, you got, I think it was up to around about 60% more. We're going through a similar event now where we're just about to double the HEX token count that you get. So you've got to factor that in to all of this as well.
What's this chart?
That's a good
Is this
point.
HEX ETH?
Yeah, HEX.
Is this weekly? Can you go to daily?
Yep.
And is that log?
Yeah. Oh no, it's not, is it?
You might need to drag
no, that's not a log.
Squeeze it in.
So is that log? That's log.
So look at where we are against, like, on the HEX ETH chart. So, you know, that's not terrible. That's not terrible if you're comparing against.
That's since June. That's not the full history.
That's June 2020. Though.
Yeah, I'd have to go to version 1. I think.
Yeah, you got to go to a different. You have to go to Uniswap.vision, I think.
So if you look at that, guys, that's not terrible against. I mean, it's not terrible against ETH. So what do you like when you say the chart looks terrible against ETH? It's looking pretty damn good. Looking pretty damn good against ETH, considering. And I just it's, you know, anyone who's shitting themselves right now just is not able to see the opportunity, the buying opportunity. It's before a fork. It's
Doco coming out in a year or less than a year. Just before the fork. Hedron's about to come out. I think Hedron's going to rocket fuel.
I wouldn't even talk about that. I would just like in reality, everything else fails, and even
this doesn't take into account how much yield.
It's better than Bitcoin. It does everything Bitcoin does, but it's got more to it. It's a premier store of value.
If you're an average length staker,
like
you're still getting
of the cryptocurrency.
38%.
It's like we're buying fucking Lamborghinis. Like, that's how Lamborghinis. We're buying fucking Lamborghini fucking dealerships. That's how fucking good HEX is. Yeah.
We're becoming used car salesmen. Becoming car salesmen. No, I mean, see those charts as well. That doesn't count all the yield that you're earning, which is a ton, especially if you're staked long. Like, that's where the real gains are going to come. I mean, ridiculous gains are going to come.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had a bit of a chat about HEX. We're all in agreement that we think HEX is, even though it's in a pretty major, dip at the moment, people are crying, all that sort of thing. I just see that as buying. I get excited when it's like this, as buying opportunity. I get excited. I actually get excited. I don't get scared.
And look at what's happening in the world. Like Canada have come out and said, "Shut up." Canada have come out and said that they want to confiscate people's money from their bank accounts. They want to confiscate crypto wallets, which means exchanges, anyone who has stuff on exchanges, if you like, so many more people are going to be onboarded over the next few years as countries do this, because they can't take your money if you control your own private keys.
That's correct.
Like
That's
that,
right.
that alone, in terms of a macro, like, yeah, there's the up and down of the chart and people buying and selling and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
So
like,
I can't remember who it was. I seen a tweet today, and it was someone that was obviously against Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies because of the no fundamental value sort of thing. And he came out today. Yeah, he came out today and he said, it's funny, I'm paraphrasing here, it's funny that it's taken the events of what's happening in Canada for me to actually flip my position on the fundamental value proposition of these. So I think people are...
Sorry, who said that?
Yeah.
I'd have to dig it up now, but it was...
I'll go find it. I think his name was David something.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to hold...
Wrote an article admitting that he was wrong, that he's always been anti-Bitcoin and realized that crypto is necessary.
Like, there was literally someone who donated $50 to the truckers, a Canadian woman, had all of her bank accounts frozen, had all of her credit cards frozen.
Yeah.
Like, if that doesn't get you into crypto, I don't know what would.
Yep.
So guys, can we sorry, Jexxa, get...
Oh, I found it. It's this guy, DHH.
That rings a bell.
Shit, what's his name? I'll just go to the article. So David Heinemeier Hansen. And he just wrote in fact, I think, did Richard actually... Richard was the way I found this was Richard tweeted it out.
Oh, okay.
Richard did a quote tweet about this. That's how I found it.
Yeah, I was just browsing through and I come across it, but yeah. So I think the reality is setting in for a few people that there is a bit of a need for this stuff.
And, government's plan is to come out with a CBDC. They're coming out with a product which is more shit than what they've currently got.
If you didn't think that was possible, they're going to top it.
Yeah,
they're going to top it.
There was a tweet where someone said a CBDC is a tyranny, like is a tyrannical dictator's wet dream.
Yeah. Yeah, it's psychopathic fantasists.
No,
honestly,
just switch people's finances off with no limitations, no court orders, no nothing. Just go hard.
Yeah. So just to lighten up the mood a little bit, could we perhaps, like we've talked about Pulsex, we've talked about HEX, our beloved HEX. Bluey, do you want to tell us a little bit about what's happening in the next couple of days with Hedron, I believe, got its audit back and everything's A-okay with that. And there's, I think it's when's it launching? In the 26th or something?
It's on Sunday for us in Australia at either 10 a.m. or 11 a.m., depending on where you are. I'm not sure what time in Perth. And I think it's on Saturday. It's on the 26th of February at the UTC 0, like when the HEX contract ticks over. And yeah, for that first 10 days, I would recommend people claiming their free Hedron with the 10x bonus on all of their HEX stakes at the very minimum.
Hopefully we might get a nice cheap gas day. Sundays are usually pretty cheap gas days.
Yeah, and just to claim on a HEX stake for that is probably going to cost only like $15 or $20, I think. Mm-hmm. And there was a HEX dev who found another savings, gas savings. And so to make a HSI stake, like make a HEX stake through the Hedron contract, it's only going to cost about $60 now. Mm-hmm. Whereas it was going to be about $300. So yeah, that's probably worth learning about. Get to the Hedron chat, the Telegram channel, and ask questions, find out about it. It's pretty easy to do. I've done a couple of tutorials that are kicking around.
Bluey, there were a couple of FUD comments in my stream chat. Do you want to just address these two? One of them said that there are risks involved in like in like claiming and minting that you're like there's some kind of risk. Another one said that the audit raised 2 like major problems that needed to be fixed. Is there any truth to either of those statements?
Well, first of all, in terms of approvals, it's all read only, like for anything except for making a new HEX stake through the Hedron contract, which requires an approval.
That sounds safe.
So it's read only.
And so if all you're doing is like the claim and mint, and you're not actually creating wrapped stakes, there's never there's no chance. There's no.
It doesn't need your HEX
vectors that it can get.
Yeah, no, it's just reading the public information of your stake.
The only time it needs access to your HEX is if you're making a stake through.
Just to wrap it up.
Yeah. Otherwise, it doesn't need the HEX. It's just looking at what you've currently got in stakes and saying, okay, you've currently got that, which anyone can do via, Etherscan with an address, or you need an address. Public info. You can just go do that, and it just reads that and say, okay, this address has this many T shares or this many B shares. It's entitled to this much Hedron.
Cool.
It's as simple as that, man. That part.
And in terms of the audit, we did a Hedron live stream this morning.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Which is on the Hedron channel, and we went through the audit and looked at every single thing that the audit company brought up, and we discussed it in detail. The 2 major points that they brought up, one was like having an SA address, a source address, which is similar to the OA in HEX, and their issue with that was that it was financial centralization.
Yeah,
but as we know,
so not a security issue, just a business issue as they see it.
Yeah, that's an economics.
Yeah, and
comment,
the other
not a security comment.
And the other major issue was that he has put in there a proof of benevolence function, which basically burns Hedron, and it's not something that you can access via the website. You have to go on Etherscan and know what you're doing and connect via Etherscan and run the function that way. And it takes an approval. That's the other one thing that takes an approval. And it's basically just burning Hedron. And the reason that's in there, he couldn't really talk about too much, but you would think that either a big whale or the SA might use that proof of benevolence.
So, maybe. Does that mean did they audit the front end as well? I would have thought they would be only auditing the contract, because can't anyone make a front end? Like, shouldn't the front end be sort of like off limits from the auditors?
That's a function you can call through the contract.
Yeah,
that's
a function of the contract.
Said that it's not visible on the front, like it's not a front end.
No,
but
so the auditors.
But that shouldn't matter in terms of, for the auditor's point of view. They shouldn't care about.
No. The auditors look at the contract and everything you can do from the contract, and that is a function that you can call from in the contract. What I'm saying is the reason they thought it was dangerous to have it in there is that someone might go and use it and burn their Hedron.
Oh, right? Like a user who might accidentally.
Yeah.
So when I read the audit, I read through it, and to me it was like I got to the end of it and I'm like, that's a great outcome for that audit. There's like nothing negative in there. I mean, they had major issues with those 2 things, but when I read them, it's like they're supposed to be there. Yeah. It's like those things are supposed to be there. That's not like they're calling it major issues, but that's
you've got to understand the game theory behind it, I guess, to see how they're going to be implemented.
Yeah, they're just
now see the reason why you mentioned specifically that it's not on the front end is you're saying it's even less likely that someone would accidentally do it. You'd have to be going and you'd have to be going and like hacking.
Know what you do. You'd have to know what you're doing.
Sort of yeah.
What's the difference between having that and just sending to the contract address?
Yeah, you could do that as well, I suppose.
I guess it doesn't actually burn the supply though, then, does it?
It just sends it to a null address. Yeah. It's the same effect, but this is actually proof of benevolence, proof of it burns it or something.
Yeah. Cool. That question below us right now, I expected that to happen personally.
I think we all did, didn't we?
Oh yeah,
Sammy and I definitely expected it.
Not me. Yeah, I was trying to go against the tide. I thought everyone thinks it's going to happen.
Just for a bit of controversy,
and I was completely wrong. I have to admit that. Yeah.
You don't build in a flat period like that.
So for me, it doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for Bluey, then I guess the question's sort of aimed at you, really. Like, also, sorry, you're the best place to answer that question in terms of how did that impact your thoughts about the project, if at all?
About Pulsex?
Yeah.
Now that it's happened, I just think, well, yeah, he's doing the same thing as he did on Hex and Pulse, and it's going to be one major whale. I thought it might be different because you don't really need it for the security. Well, I mean, maybe I don't know enough about the possibilities of what could happen and why he would need it, but obviously he's just doing it for the economic reason. You know, that's have a big whale is just holding, and unless there's some sort of plan in the future. Like after 10 years or 15 years, maybe something happens to that supply as, you know, more and more people are onboarded. Maybe you need to start giving out more or something like that.
So it hasn't significantly impacted your
No. I mean, we've done so well with HEX.
Way.
No, we've done so well with HEX, and the OA has acted in such good benevolence with and protection of HEX. But I think he'll do the same with Pulse, and I think they'll probably do the same with Pulsex. It's a little bit weird, like because you're going to be able to vote on the pools and stuff, and I assume, I don't know, that entity won't vote on the pools for Pulsex. Otherwise, what's the point of having voting if there's just one whale that's going to decide everything?
Yep. That's a comment that can apply to many projects in the crypto space.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly how Uni
looks
operate.
like it's a DAO, but then if you've got a majority holder like some VC or something like that, then they just smoke everyone and or the founder, founding team, etc. Yeah.
I mean, it seems to be that with HEX, maybe the OA adds and pulls out liquidity at certain times, and I guess having a massive account like that just allows that entity to protect the price to an extent, like by putting in all of this liquidity that we see at the moment. So it's very hard it's easy as well for people to get out now, isn't it? Like if they want to get out at this price, like you know they can get out without moving the price against themselves too much.
To protect the price to protect the price from downside, you don't actually need a massive supply of the actual token. You only need wealth in stables or other assets, so which he clearly has, or that entity clearly has. So I don't think that's the reason, but yeah, we'll see.
So what I haven't sat down and Young and Wild's put a comment in there about the total supply. I haven't sat down and done the numbers on that. I've seen a couple of tweets going around from K4K where I think he's worked out the supplies and saying that Pulsex will be a lot less than Pulse. But I can't...
Lower supply?
Yeah, apparently. Just to do with the way the multipliers worked over how long they ran for. Now, I haven't done the numbers myself, so I can't confirm or deny.
So people sacrificed
$1
billion. He sacrificed 18 billion, but at the worst rate. So what is it going to be like? He'll have about 90%.
But I think because the sacrifice phase ramp went out for longer on PulseChain, I believe, so it impacts the rates. I'm talking out of my backside here because I haven't actually done all the numbers. But that's what I've seen.
It's counterintuitive though, isn't it? You'd think that because more people were involved, there was more and more people who were aware of the sacrifice phase for the second one. You would think that the supply would end up being larger, but obviously there's multiplying factors in there that have changed it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Hang on.
I'm sure all those figures will come out and so on. Yep.
Can I just say, I think about 50 billion HEX was sacrificed.
Oh, right.
From that account. So from my calculation,
50 billion.
Sammy said $18 billion worth of HEX.
Dub Cuda is saying 49 billion on Etherscan. So
that might be HEX though, is it not? Dollars?
Yeah, HEX. Yeah. So if you divide that by 8.55, which was the rate, right, the penalty rate, divide that by 8.55, and then multiply that by 1.7.
That's not my screen.
That's uNrekt. Tisha's freaking out.
Well, I just assumed it might be my screen since it's my tweet. Like, I was like, shit.
What the fuck is going on here, Tangent? Let's get to what really matters. Number go up. Come on. So only this in crypto. So what's going on here? I saw this on Twitter now. I just got on Twitter. And
Did you see Jim Rat's comment on this photo? I can't say it out loud. It was a hex.
Say it. Say it.
No,
What's that all about? Jim Rat. No.
So can I just finish just before we get?
I just saw that now.
Let's finish. Can we just finish off this thread quickly?
You get. I'm with you, day 23. So go.
Must have been a good weekend. Must have been a good weekend.
Okay, so let me just calculate this, right? Let me just calculate this. So it was 50 billion, right? HEX.
You look at the chat. Some people are saying $50 billion. Some are saying 50 billion HEX. Some are saying 300 billion.
I think it's
10 billion.
So, come on, guys. Let's get some decent figures here. Someone must know.
Someone needs to bring up Etherscan. Hey, someone needs to bring up Etherscan.
Yeah, let's have a look.
So the price at the moment is 15.5 cents, but I think back when it happened, it was like closer to 20, right?
No. It was like 16 cents or something.
It's just like
at the start
today,
of the sack, you mean? Or what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
50 billion.
Oh, no, when they sacked
times 0.15.
Yeah.
310 billion. Okay, that makes sense because that would be half of the supply.
Oh, okay, 310 billion HEX, right?
Yeah. All right, let me do this calculation now. Okay, so we've got 310 billion times.
Dealing with numbers where I actually can't be fucked typing that many zeros. That's
it's like these guys are like galaxy brains.
A lot.
These guys must be like on another level. Like they're just like they actually.
But you have to divide that by 8.55.
No, they put that in a computer. So.
But hang on, that means that entity owns 98% of the supply.
Yeah.
Can I, guys? I've been trying to fucking do this calculation for about 5 minutes. Shut the fuck up, Jesus fucking Christ, jeez. Okay, sorry, I'm just channeling Bloobum now.
7, 6.
Okay, all right.
4, 3.
Get the fuck out of my face, dude. Get the fuck out of my face while I'm trying to do this shit. Okay, so we're about $50 billion, and then you divide that by 8.55, which was the bonding curve rate penalty. So it comes down to 5.8, and then you got to multiply that by 1.75. So I'm sitting on about 10 bill.
Oh, okay.
10 billion's worth. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we good? All right. So now that we finally, so about 10x. Yeah, it's about 10x. Sorry, uNrekt. I had to finish that, mate.
No, I'm sorry. I was doing that on
Jesus,
purpose.
So we're back to 90% more or less.
Mate, I've got 3 kids, and uNrekt, you stress me out more than my fucking 3 kids, bro. Jesus, fuck. Okay. All right.
I'll do you 43.
So,
thank you, everyone.
So what do you reckon? So the OA you think's got 90%.
Yep.
Of the supply. It didn't quite have that much in Pulse, did I? thought it was about 80 odd. I could be wrong. Oh no, it was it?
No, we need a Gunter.
It's been so long now. I'm not sure. I did have all the numbers for that.
It's just a real ton. I mean, I wonder how they work it out. How much they want to do.
Yeah, I thought I worked out that there was between the OA and the top. I think it was 100 addresses was 85% of the supply on the other one.
He did it in one transaction as well.
Yeah.
Which is quite unusual because Richard, I mean, maybe it's not Richard Hart. Like, because Richard would...
Maybe he just gives no fucks. Like, maybe he's just like, fuck it.
Whatever.
Do chain analysis. Like, here you go.
I like Jexxa's comment.
He's just whipping out a big fucking schlong and just laying it down on the table. Chain analysis this. No. Boom.
I like Jexxa's comment. He wants to save on gas.
Yeah, he was trying to get it all in one
It only cost him $3 to do it.
Yeah,
it was $3 for gas.
Yeah. $3
to do like a freaking $18 billion.
Jexxa, you said that you couldn't stick around the whole time, but I wanted to ask you the other thing that's happening at the moment is Liquid Loans is having the sacrifice. Can you
Sure
tell me a little bit about what's going on there, mate? Because that's going to be launching on PulseChain. Can you tell us how that's going?
Sure can. Just give me 1 second. The sacrifice kicked off. We're in day three of that now. So flat period for 10 days. And currently, in terms of funds that have gone into that so far, it's up to, just refresh it, it's 7.7 mil. So that's across, so it's about roughly 7 mil on the ETH chain, and then another 650 odd on the Binance Smart Chain. So that's good. So we've seen a pretty good support showing for the protocol so far. So yeah, pretty happy with the way that's going, and been a busy couple of days. Lots of activity, and the admins are doing a fantastic job being everywhere and answering everyone's questions. So shout out to all those guys.
Is the team
liquidloans.io, right?
The sacrifice.io is where you head for that.
Oh, the sacrifice.io.
Yeah.
And is the Liquid Loans team like happy with that progress? Is that what they expected?
How could you not be, man? That's a couple of days into it. That's a really cracking result, I think.
Yep.
There's no you can wait till the very 10th day and it doesn't really impact you. You're not following price charts and stuff because it's all stable coins. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen over the rest of that 10 days. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with the way it's going so far.
Yep. And there was something I saw on Twitter today that we touched on just before the stream. Can you maybe explain what that was? It was something about someone who was abusing some sort of system or something, the referral system?
Yeah, so we've got one community member that's a little bit upset with the way they were treated or perceived to be treated on a referral program. So understand we like things to be anonymous in crypto. When you're creating a referral program, most tools that are designed for referral programs need you to enter in data and register your name. So email, things like that. Now we said, this is crypto. We don't want any of that. Let's make it anonymous. So only everyone would always be known by their public wallet address, which is the way it should be done. And when we set up the referral program, we wanted to make it as friction free as possible. So you hit a point though where you need to be able to get people to prove that they own a particular address. So either you don't put anything in place so they don't have to prove it, or you've got to put in something where they need to prove it. So initially we started off and we said, look, anyone that tries to dodge you up the system, we'll be keeping an eye on it. And if you do the wrong thing, then you'll get pulled into line. So one particular person who feels slighted, but let's understand what happened. So this particular person went to either the PulseChain or the Pulsex sacrifice list and grabbed every single person's address and put it into their referral link. So what it meant is, had any of those people sacrificed, he would have got all their referral points. Okay, so So
shouldn't it be the other way around, that the person sacrificing?
Well, it's on both sides. So the person that's the referral code gets 5%, and the referrer gets 5%. So it's an equal split. So he would have picked up an extra 5% on everything that these other people had sacrificed, which is not really in the spirit of what we're trying to do here. It was more about outreach and getting people to be part of the sacrifice and making sure there was an incentive for people to spread the word about what's coming to PulseChain. So we implemented the feature where you had to sign the wallet address with your MetaMask client. So that way it stops all of that happening. So this guy was put out because of the fact he got picked up for trying to game the system, I guess. So storm in a teacup. Obviously one person's upset, but how would you feel if you were say Overwatch or someone like that, you a massive address, and someone's basically taken your address and put it into their referral code, which is not really in the spirit of what we're trying to do.
Can you self-refer like with HEX?
You can. It's not. It's done differently. It's not done all on chain. It's just it's tricky to try and do that. So it works in a different way. I won't go into all the details of it. There's a whole page on the referral program on Liquid Loans. You can go to the referral program. It's probably a little bit too convoluted to get into on this stream. I don't want to monopolize all the
In fact, I just realised no one could ever
No,
stop you
it
from
looks like
self-referring
the thing is,
if you just use two different addresses. Like if you were to just use two different.
let's break it down into the nuts
there's a few rules around it too. There's a few rules around it just to try and stop people gaming the system, like minimum amounts that need to be sacrificed and things like that. So we tried to do it with as least amount of friction as possible, but stop people gaming the system. But if someone's going to take advantage of it, then we had to do the right thing by the community.
So it's a sacrifice now. It's a 30-day sacrifice. We're on day 3 of the
Correct.
Liquid Loan. Okay.
Yep.
And again, it's the crypto ethos, and it is a political statement. You are sacrificing for a political statement. Mm-hmm. You wish, and that is it. It's an act of free speech. Like-minded community members own sensible centralized stablecoins by sacrificing them, and so in the hope that different community-owned trustless algorithmic stablecoin protocol may merge on the PulseChain network.
Yep. Nailed it.
Tangent. I think
we're off to the track. Let's see.
Jimrat Crypto. Jimrat, he's seen your tweets, mate. He's seen your tweets. I think you're going to have a visitor to Perth one of these days.
Well, we're going to do a collab. We're going to do a collab stream.
Cool. Look forward to that. Man. All right, so we've covered HEX, we've covered Pulsex, we've covered Hedron, we've covered Liquid Loans. They're all the things, like the topical things. There's been drama in the community.
I got a hot girlfriend too.
Drama in the community. Listen. Forget all the drama in the community. Come to our stream here. We bring the drama every week, telling each other to get fucked and all that sort of stuff, mate. We don't pull any punches here. We do not pull punches.
A smoking hot girlfriend in my wreck bags. Hey, what's that? Did you see that?
Who said that?
Anyway. Your mate from America.
Who's that?
Jimrat.
I'll put
we were talking about. Someone said in my chat on my stream that you don't see and hear the drama when you're just surrounded by hot girls and good tunes. Like it just blocks out blocks out the sound and visuals of any haters and any drama.
So
I was riding my bike.
Sammy's not here.
I went for a ride today. Sorry, I was just gonna bring it down a level, so in case you haven't already lost all respect for the uNrekt Pyrate. My girlfriend said to me today, we're riding along on a bike. She's like, I got cum dripping out of me. And that was from before.
I'm glad I wasn't listening properly then.
That does happen.
And I'm like, yeah, mate, any couples, eh?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the uNrekt Pyrate.
Not financial advice.
What's up? Must calm down.
Not in my household. I got 3 fucking kids, mate. All right. So Sammy's not here this week. She's so shout out to Sammy. We miss you. So we don't have Sammy to do the hexagon of the week. So I need to put someone on the spot here. Who can do hexagon of the week for me this week?
Sure.
Put up your hand.
Yeah,
I've been out of the loop, man. I don't.
Well, maybe you can.
Do I have to read
Jexxa said
something?
the same thing.
Tangent. Tangent. You've got a Twitter feed of hexagons of the week, mate. Can you just bring one up and?
Like, someone asked me like on one of the photos, was like, is this
with lots of plum trees, a sheep, a two, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back.
That's a knife. All I had was me undies on.
Hello?
Sorry, Tangent. I clicked that before you started talking. Before you started talking.
Or I was just going to drop some deep philosophical shit that someone said, is that girl a hexagon? And I said, there's only two types of people in this world, hexagons and future hexagons.
That is deep.
So that's a no then, isn't it?
Yeah. It was skirting the no. Like, it was skirting.
Hex.
Avoiding a direct no.
Get some Hex. Hex is the best.
All right. Well,
is the number one performing asset. Crip Bluey do in Mick America today. I saw you on a stream talking about Pulse and what was that? What was one of your streams? You spoke to a guy
that was
something like
Alex.
5,000 subscribers.
That was Alex Christoforou. Yeah, he's on another channel called the Duran.
From
who do geopolitics. Yeah, and so I got on that, and yeah, go check that out. That was a really good stream.
I was watching it. Mate. Yeah. So that. Yeah, I mean, like you're rubbing shoulders stratosphere of crypto, mate. Talking
in
you're
my
making connections high up, like we're will. What?
uNrekt, your internet is pretty horrible, mate. Pretty horrible. It's cutting in and out. I'm not sure if that's just me or everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't really hear it.
Yeah, that's pretty much every week, though, isn't it? I don't know where he's got the worst internet in Australia, I think.
He's only 20 minutes from me as well.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Needs to sort it out.
Someone's watching Netflix.
Could be.
Probably is that. She's in there probably watching a movie or something. Yeah. She's probably watching gay porn, actually.
While I'm around, we can probably do the bitch tits if you like. I'm going to have to just get a few things.
Oh, I don't think anyone will have got it.
Nah. I reckon we'll all be way off.
Yeah, way off.
Yeah.
I went.
I've got to be honest, I probably overplayed my hand a little bit too early. I'm not ready.
Sorry, Tangent. That's the second time I've cut you off, mate. I swear, totally I click it and it's like there's like a 1.5 second delay on it.
Yeah, no. It's fine, man. I was just saying that I think I went like crazy high. Like I think I did like 80 cents or like something like super high. Or it was like 40 cents or 80 cents. I was like way off.
I'm interested to see who's participated this week.
It's a pretty poor show.
Really?
Second. Well, no, we've got about 20 odd people voted. Got a special guest appearance from someone, but we're all majorly off. Hang on. Let's just zoom this in a bit. So someone's going to win by default. It's what was that? Ice skater. Bradbury or whatever it said it was.
Stephen Bradbury.
Stephen Bradbury. Oh, hang on. That's not the one I was after. I want to highlight. We'll do a highlight. So Ashtree has taken out the win.
Again?
But is 3 cents away from the action. So...
So the lowest guess was 3 cents higher than where the price is.
Yeah.
We were bullish a week ago.
We had two comments from Justin Trudeau. 666 and 0 bitches.
Can you put text in your guess?
Yeah.
0 bitches.
How dare you, Sammy? How dare you knock the website? You should have no expectations of the work of others.
The website's awesome.
Sammy coming in, guns blazing.
So
congratulations, Ashtree. Congratulations. You are the bitch tits of the week.
How many has he won?
He'd be up for a couple, I would think.
People are really good at this.
I know.
Bluey, you took the on stream guess, which wasn't much competition.
Yeah, because I had the lowest.
Tangent went for the moon.
Sammy, it's real simple. You've got to type www.titbit.ch. Simple. www.titbit.ch. I'll type it in here.
I think she was talking about the functionality, like in terms of the cell validation, that it allows you to put text into a cell that should be numbers only.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's just a Google.
It's code.
Let's face it, there wasn't that much thought that went into the form.
Yeah. No.
We didn't realize it was going to carry on for this long.
No. Absolutely not. I don't think it's required. If people want to put text, then they're just going to not win.
Yeah, and it's good for the comedy value.
Yeah. So Justin Trudeau, look, this is why the guy's not governing well. He's got time to go to our website and bloody vote on our shitty competition where you win absolutely nothing apart from the honor of being called bitch tits.
So get your votes in, peeps, for next week. It's going to be an interesting one. Who knows where it could go?
I'm actually going to go with the price that it needs to be at for us to close above that long-term trend line.
What's that?
So that's about 22.5 cents.
Oof. We're not going to get that. No way.
Oh, well, then we're fucked.
Why?
I'm serious.
Why would we be fucked? Why would we be fucked?
We need to recover that trend line within the week. Otherwise, we're fucked.
You're just a TA chart.
You're just
fucked. But then the trend line's gone. Like as in,
yeah.
But if the trend line's
was
gone,
just a meme. Like it was not a thing.
But can't you go below the trend line for a bit and then come back up above it and just dance around the trend line?
And then later on, you've actually averaged.
Usually, if you don't recover quickly, you can have fake outs and fake downs.
So it's not really a trend line; it's a floor. It's a floor.
It was meant, yeah. It was. Well, people were talking about it like as if it was this line that was going to be defended, and that it was, that the price was not going to go underneath it. So all I'm saying is, then that will not be the case.
At some stage, that was going to happen. I thought. Like if you look at
according to people that thought that it was, godlike. People thought that Richard was going to defend that line since he was the one that drew it.
Is that Richard's line? I don't know if that's
that wasn't the one he drew.
No,
he drew an average one, sort of down the middle.
Do we have that line?
I don't have it handy. I could quickly make one up, but give me a second. I'll quickly make one up.
I would just be happier to be above the line so that we can keep the meme alive, keep the dream and the meme alive, both alive.
And just in answer to this question, Red Squirrel, no, I'm sorry, mate, you didn't win. I'm happy to call you bitch tits though. You just won't be bitch tits of the week. All right.
Gosh, bit of anger coming out there.
That's not anger. I'm joking.
All right, so I've got a few little lines and squiggles on here, but it should be good enough for the general gist of it. Let's go with that. Okay, so the pink line that I've drawn on this chart was what I thought was the random line.
Hang on.
Once it comes up, if everyone sort of agree on. That was the general gist of it. I'll bring it down a little bit.
Was it? Okay. I didn't.
Yep, so touching on there, but being resistance in this point, support along here. So that was the random line. So that's more of a middle average sort of line, as opposed to the one Tangent's talking about is this bottom one here, which I'll make a bit fatter.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one Tangent saying he would like to see defended.
Yep.
Yep.
So the random line has just been an average.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you scale that one off the original tweet from Richard where he just drew the random line?
I haven't, but that's what I recall it to be.
But you just okay. So as the price moved around it, you could just see roughly where it went.
Yeah. Yep. Now they'll just put that onto a weekly. So what Tangent's talking about? Let's get this in here. Is he wants to see price get up above?
Yeah, this current week closing above that line.
So you haven't had a full body close below the line, is what you're saying. And if you get back up above there, then technically you've defended that price. Yep. So all the TA guys would be looking at that. Let's be honest. If it doesn't, does it matter? Like if it's just a line on a chart, does it matter?
I don't think it matters that much. Hey, honestly, I don't think it matters that much. I think we're gonna go down till sellers get exhausted, and then we're gonna go up.
Okay,
so that's my TA.
Yeah, that's pretty much it all the time.
So before that one happened, Tangent. So this would have been the line we were defending here, and then we fell down, but that didn't stop us moving up. That was a major trend line we broke there. At that point in time, everyone would have been going, that was a major trend line. And that was that big payday around there? That must have been big payday where we fell through there.
Yep. I think that was big payday.
Yeah. So it's not like we haven't done that before. And there was something fundamental going on there as well, much like there's something fundamental going on now as well. So I totally agree that you would like to see that remain intact. But the reality is,
yeah, it's just such a nicely established trend line that the new trend line, if you will only have 2 touch points at the very start of the price action and now. You get what I'm saying? Like as in,
totally agree. Yeah,
you lose. That's So I mean, all I know for sure is it's going to kill that narrative that people are running with. That narrative will be dead. So it's up to everyone to decide whether they will actually factor that into their confidence and their.
So what's more important? What's more important, a monthly or a weekly?
Oh, and that's a good point. The monthly closes the following day. So, both are important, but a higher time frame typically trumps. So we'd have one extra day to save the monthly if the weekly fails. But I think it's sort of one or both, you know. I don't think you'd get one failing and then the other one just suddenly pumps above.
Yeah.
They're so close together. It's literally Monday and Tuesday of next week.
So that's probably your monthly one there if you're being
I think with the monthly, the sample space is so small for the entire history. Look at that. You've only got it's like less than 20 candles or something like it's around that. So
interesting week ahead then.
Yep.
I mean, there are quite a lot of sacrifices for other things coming out now, isn't it? And so we've seen quite a few different ones. And
that's true, but people understand fresh capital comes into a lot of these as well. I personally, what I've witnessed is I know a lot of people have brought fresh capital into the market for these. So, there's probably a little bit of people that are got their whole portfolio in HEX need to probably let go of some of their HEX, but there's a lot of people that don't just hold HEX or bringing in fresh capital still. So,
it cuts both ways, all of that, doesn't it?
I think with this line being defended, this trend line, I think the people who are running with that narrative are assuming that it's like a massive whale or Richard himself that would be defending the line, and therefore the sacrifices and any other stuff that's going on would be irrelevant to their narrative because it would be a whale with so much economic firepower that they could defend the line no matter what they're doing on other stuff. You know what I mean? It's not about plebs having to sell some HEX to sacrifice for other things or any of that kind of crap. It's more of a large scale user defending the line or not defending the line.
Yeah.
TA's horoscopes for men. I've heard that one before. The comment before, I'm assuming that it was saying that someone claimed that the SAC was unethical. I'm assuming that's aimed at the large SAC that just went into Pulsex at the very end. But same thing happened with Pulse.
Yeah, I think it was more to do with the way it was moved sideways from.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I suspect that was already the case, right? That a lot of the economic firepower that came into Pulse sacrifice was already from the OA, like. So it's
yeah. That's exactly right. It's just
so he's saying the whole thing, like the recycling through the whole lot.
No. So my understanding, and I haven't even looked at the on-chain data to know what's happened. The funds that were originally sacrificed by the OA for PulseChain were the same funds used for Pulsex.
Yep.
So I've just heard it. I haven't even checked it. I don't know.
I
think
I got no issue with it whatsoever. No issue with it whatsoever.
Yeah. So the comment that Jim Rat's referring to is one of the Liquid Loans team members made what he thought was a throwaway comment about that in a broader context of a conversation. So partly taken out of context, but also, the guy said it. And from a Liquid Loans point of view, we want to make it sure everyone knows that that's not the way the team feels. The leadership team doesn't feel like that. That was one individual's comment. That's not the way the whole Liquid Loans team sees everything. We've been around H projects long enough to know that was always going to happen.
Yeah, I just don't see what's unethical about it.
No, there's not. There's nothing.
I just
don't.
That's
what I'm saying is there's a lot in the community in general. There's a lot of people telling other people what they should do with their money at the moment. That's just a general comment.
Oh, okay. Maybe we're not. Are we understanding this properly? Because Red Squirrel saying he wasn't saying it was unethical. Hang on, if I can scroll down a little bit. Fuck this touchscreen, hey.
So are they talking about sacrifices in general? Like the idea of a sacrifice? I mean, it is kind of like the new ICO or IDO or, it's like a renaming of...
DCA.
No,
DCA.
Yeah. So Red Squirrel saying he wasn't. So that's what I'm saying. The comment was taken out of context. So he wasn't saying it was unethical, but that was the way it was portrayed on Twitter.
Oh yeah, he was replying to the accusations that the Liquid Loan sacrifice was unethical.
Yeah. So it was sort of taken out of context, and so just so we're clear, the Liquid Loans team doesn't think that anything's happened is unethical.
Yeah. Hey, look, I mean, when things are on Twitter, everyone's going to have an opinion, hey?
Yeah, that's right. And that's what I said. It's been a funny couple of weeks in the community, to be honest. Yeah, so there's everyone's I've seen OGs going at each other. It's been a funny week on Twitter, to be honest. Hopefully we see a bit of positive price action and everyone cheers up again.
What's good? What's in crypto? Let's about what's good in crypto and what's happening and it's all the focus in PulseChain to come out, but look at this HEX dip. I mean, it's a good buying opportunity if you're just getting in and dollar costing in and scaling in and try not to get too mucked up. We're trying to get just buy it off enough that you can chew. There's a lot of moving parts within the crypto Easter mate. So keep it simple, stupid, and dollar cost averaging is the way into.
And just look at the long term.
Infinitely better than if you just kept your money in the bank. It's safe as to me. It's safe as houses.
I mean, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at this.
Salty,
Exactly. Yeah. And like, look at it for the next decade. Like, why only think weeks and months and stuff like that? Like, this is an accumulation phase.
There is still a lot of short-term thinking in crypto in general. A lot of thanks for that, Mango Junkie. I think in general the HEX community's got people that think a lot longer term, and we've seen that one. We've just watched some guy chuck out $200 million for 15 years. If that doesn't tell you that this thing's going to be around for 15 years, I don't know what does. So there's a lot of real money getting locked. Like that money could have been cashed out for $200 million.
Yeah. I was reading his tweets actually today, the God Whales.
Yeah.
Because they're all out there, and someone was coming up with some theory about who it was or something like that. And because of the way he used the term brother or something like that. And I was just like, so I started reading through them. He uses amen a lot, and he uses the terms brother and sister a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what you'd say to tell from that. But
yeah. I don't know, but if you were trying to be a little bit anonymous, wouldn't you? You would speak in a different way that you'd normally speak, wouldn't you?
Yep.
If you were clever about it.
In Hedron, we had someone called the Hedron God come into the chats, and they would come into the chats and they would use one of those voice changes to say stuff.
It's gold.
And there's all sorts of
that's awesome.
Theories about
you
who
don't
it
know
is
the
and
power
all that kind of
of
stuff. And people
T-shares.
trying to work out the language they use and the timings of when they came in and who wasn't in then and stuff like that. And it's just like,
there you go. Look at that.
So, guys,
Thanks,
currently
Sammy.
the T-share price is sitting at around 3,365 US dollars. Is that right? Let me check.
yeah, that sounds right. So B shares like $3.65.
4,000 or 5,000 Australian, and that's a lot of people.
And the T-share rate.
Whole exposure to crypto.
Guys, we're about to tip over 21,000 hex per T-share.
I thought it was over 21,000, wasn't it?
No, not yet. No, we're 20,950. So just to give you a bit of context, when HEX launched, it was 10,000 hex per T-share.
So we've seen some pretty big daily increases. So back on the 17th, a daily increase of 144. That's massive. Most of the time, it's just double digits. So that was a pretty big.
So, and it seems to be those really big short-term stakes which are cranking it up, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that true, or is it longer ones that are?
I think
coming to an end.
I think that's what the analysis someone did. I can't remember now though. But because I was thinking like, do you think it'll climb higher? If that's the case, might climb a lot higher more quickly on PulseChain.
So we had a big day. That must have been the HEX 19 day, where that was back on the 16th of the 1st. We had a 236 increase. That's the highest one I've ever seen. The rest of them are all pretty low. So yeah, it's been cranking up a lot quicker. Maybe it is a lot of either the shorter stakes, or a lot of stakes are now coming due that were pushed out for 2.5 years at the beginning.
You know, HEX 19 has been in the Hedron chats quite a lot, and he's got a great attitude. Hey, he's just like, no, I'm gonna start building it up again.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's still early, man. Like, he's
good on him.
Yeah. This is just getting started. Like, you're going to get double of them soon. So
an expensive lesson.
But let's just very expensive lesson. But like, let's look after your OPSEC. Don't wear these on live stream unless you've got a dedicated streaming computer, and don't tell anyone what your cipher is. And make sure you protect never share your secret recovery phrase with anyone. Okay, that's I guess, good advice for anyone that's new in crypto. Start at the base, start at the ground level, and get the foundation stones right, and you can't go wrong from there. There's a few really basic things. First of all, where do you go wrong mostly? Yourself, and look, there's a whole raft of information that you can get on security, and I think there's a really good Telegram chat, Hex Security. Also got like Hex Safe.win, which is a Jexxa developed website, and he's a trusted, and the information in there is just really, really valuable for anyone getting into crypto. So go and have a look at that.
So when's the Peter Schiff debate? That's pretty soon, hey?
A couple of days, I think.
Yeah, a
24.
couple of days. 24th, is it? Yeah, 2 days.
Jexxa and I, it's like 7 a.m.
Is it?
Right.
Okay, yeah.
You
So
guys
Richard's
will be mid-morning.
Right.
just a heads up. So Richard's been tweeting out to use a disposable email address. I would strongly recommend you do for that one, because you will get pumped with marketing material.
Oh, really?
After that, yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, right.
So I know the promoters on that one. You're going to get emails and everything. So make sure you use a throwaway address.
Yep.
Yeah.
I definitely did that. Definitely did that.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? What was Tangent? You have like...
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I was about to say 43 and I, we run our own email servers now, and I've got an email aliasing service. So I literally have a separate email for every single person that I interact with, every single person, company, entity, everything.
Mm. Is that with a plus?
It's just anything at that domain, the aliasing service. So I could just say to someone, so for Jexxa, if you said, hey, what's your email? I can be like, it's Jexxa at whatever my domain is. And then you email to that, and the service actually creates the alias as soon as it receives that first email. And then that means you are the only person that's emailing me on that alias, but it all comes to one inbox.
Yeah, cool.
It's amazing. It's incredible.
So you just have to make up a new email for everyone
that.
You meet?
It's Simple Login and Anon Addy are the two services. They do the same thing, exactly the same.
So I do something that's very similar to that, but I don't use that service. I basically use the server. I've got an app on my phone where I can go in, and like if I'm signing up to a new service, I'll just go into this app and add an alias. Like I'll just go in. It takes me like literally not even 30 seconds. Go in, type in like Goku or Goko or whatever the website was called, Goko, and that will be at then my email address, and then I'll just use that. And then if they start spamming me, I'll be able to see that because it's coming from them and it's coming to that email address, and I can just go into my app and then just delete that email address in future, and then I'll never get those emails again.
That's a great idea. That's a good idea.
The advantage that you get is that you're not stacking on another service that's not controlled by you. So I'm using a service that's not fully under my control. So that's the advantage that you get. But the advantage that I get is that I can just create aliases on the fly. I don't have to I could be literally without a computer, without a phone, give someone an alias that doesn't exist yet, and it creates it when it arrives. So, but I mean, maybe you could set up software to actually do that on your own server as well.
So I can, with mine,
they're both infinitely better than what people normally do, which is have one email for work, one email for personal, and then you just end up getting spammed, and you've got no idea who spammed your email out. For 43 and I, if we start receiving spam, we know exactly who dogged us. Giving up his master web design secrets.
So I can do the plus thing. I can make one up on the fly as well. The only thing is that I can't delete that unique one by itself. So what I do is I've already gone in and made like a whole number of them, a number of email addresses that start with like, just numbers, and then I can just go in and do plus. In my mind, I can go that number and then plus something, and that makes a unique. I can just make a unique one on the fly that way, and then go in later and delete it. And it just it's a good way to do it. Like I've got email addresses from 10 years ago that I can't, like I need to migrate people off them because, I didn't have this system in place before.
Yep. I think we've, when you set these things up initially, you just look for an easy to use email address, and then you realize everyone's just collecting your crap the whole time. Everywhere you go, it doesn't matter what it is, what service, whether it's insurance companies or whatever, you're always giving away that data, and they always abuse it. Even when you tell them,
when there's a data breach, if there's a data breach of say like one service, once they've got that email, then they can start trying to use that as a login on other services. Whereas if you've got a different email for everything, you're also protected against that.
Right. But even like you go.
No, I was just going to say, can I get Pyrate uNrekt at biggerhammer.com? Can I have that one?
You can have literally anything you want at pretty much whatever you want, as long as the domain's free.
You might be able to get uNrekt Pyrate domain.
Yeah, no, I'm not into that shenanigans. I'm already like booked out. Not taking any orders. yeah. Come on.
Hey, dudes. Sorry. Did you have?
I was just going to say, Richard tweeted at Joe Rogan, asking for a live stream, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, that would be a good flow on after what was that guy's name? Malik or whatever.
Majid.
Majid.
Yeah.
That would be
that was what he was referring to.
Yeah, that would be a perfect segue into that.
Yep.
So just to Darb Kuta, he's asking what the name of the app is. The app actually goes along with the server. So you can one of this server's called, I'm not sure, should I say it Tangent? I don't know, OPSEC. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. It's open source, as in I don't think it changes anything, right?
Yeah, so you can go buy a server called Helm. It's called The Helm. And you buy that server, and then you host your own emails, and then you have an app, and then you can just go manage it from the app and just add emails on the fly whenever you like. And you can have as many different, like if you've got 20 different domains and you want to have 20 different email, it's just limitless. You can have as many emails as you like. You're not limited in any way, shape or form. There is a subscription fee as well on top of that, which I think is like $100 a year or something along those lines. And you have to buy the thing, but it just, in my mind, it just simplifies.
Yeah. It's kind of a hybrid solution, or halfway between fully running your own server and getting, so it's still you've got full control over it, but they've created a product that is slightly already geared towards running an email server, rather than you trying to just go black box and just like have something that's just a general purpose computer and you trying to use it as an email server. This is already kind of like a few steps towards it running as an email server.
Yeah. And I guess the only downside is if it fails, if the device fails, then you haven't got like your emails at that time. But there are things you can do. I've been chatting with them, and you can have a backup box if you want. You can set up another box as a backup, but then you'd have to go buy
so they said you
box.
can do that, like at a separate location, have a backup.
I forget, like this was like a month ago when there was something about it, like, but you don't even need to do that. You can actually do something with the MX records. You can do, and like keep a backup of all your shit via MX records. So you can do that, but then you'd need another service like hosted.
To migrate to as soon as you can.
Yeah. It's the priority of it would be lower than the priority of your Helm MX records. But yeah, hey, look, guys, I think we're gonna wind it up now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's wind it up, guys. So thanks to everyone in the chat. We love you all. And look, Tin Top, I don't know if that's the email address, mate. I don't know if that's your email address, guys. So just make sure you double check everything before. It might be, but I'm not sure.
Unique. You just remember you're unique, just like everyone else. And if you want to set your watch back 20 years, I think the B team's coming on over there in Colorado, the KNTX on the Discourse Syndicate Network, which of course is the platform which we're streaming on. And day 43, we want to wind it up. I was just going to say, set your watch back 20 years. We got connects in the morning and all that. See you next Tuesday. Thanks, everyone.
Hang on. There we go. Oh no. There we go. See you next Tuesday. See you later, guys.
See you guys.
Yes, boys. Good to see you all.